Wow, this is very special and very different. So, hey, everybody, thanks again for being here. Like, you're looking at me weird. I didn't say guys, sorry. I said, hey, everyone. It's a whole different statement.
They don't even know I'm here.
I know
so
they're not
kind of
here.
like
I
the
know.
flow.
I'm not ruining the flow. That's kind of how we get started. Hey,
Right.
no cuts, no edits. That's what we are. So we are the Financial Grill. And this special episode, I have my wife with me. Yes, my wife is on lock here. Why are you scared? Like you can't be introduced as my wife. Like it's an actual real thing.
I know. Yeah. I'm not scared. I'm here.
All right.
What's
cool.
up? Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Yes. And typically I'm actually with Lovely or Atlanta. We actually record on a different day, but today is a special day because we've actually been celebrating our first year anniversary since we got married. Woo, in these streets, yes. Yeah, or off these streets, as we would say.
Yeah, we're not in the streets no more.
Yeah, we're completely different. We don't know how to date around here. And we definitely need to have an episode with Atlanta letting us know how to, find a guy out there in these streets, because it's kind of different.
It's rough in these streets. I got single friends that need to get chosen, married,
they're
ready and available. But I don't know where these men is at. And I'm not in the streets looking for them, so I can't help them either.
Yeah, I can't really help them at all. I've been trying to let them know that, hey, in the end of the day, it's not my fault that these guys are not ready, but we're going to try to find the ones that are, and we try to pair them up. And we're going to figure out exactly where she finds these men's.
Yeah.
With the S.
With an S.
So ultimately, yes, we're not going to be later at a point. It's going to be a short episode. Typically, we go for a long time. And my wife has told me that, yes, you guys rant on and we kind of deviate from where we're supposed to be. So she's been doing a lot of like the editing in the background and working for us. So we like to thank her sometimes. So now she's actually here. So give her a clap or silent clap in your head.
Thank you.
Because she's been putting all the work to put us on YouTube and posting it and doing some edits in the background. What else are you doing there?
I do the social media part for the marketing for Financial Grill. So if you aren't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Financial Grill, also on YouTube and on Facebook. We're everywhere. So you have no excuse.
Cool. Wow, that's like a threat or something. You got no excuse.
It's not a threat, but whatever is the best medium for you to connect, we're there.
All right, cool. So this episode is going to be interesting because we're going to discuss a post that I recently saw. D. Marcus Garrett, D. Marcus Garrett, the entire word all the way through with 2 T's at the end. He's a renowned podcaster in the financial literacy space. He used to be part of a duo called the Paychecks and Balances. Now he actually branched off to create his own brand and move forward. What are you laughing?
Oh, I'm not laughing.
I'm good. Hey, you good? You good? Like, I'm good. Hey, are you nervous, babe? Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm nervous.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, she doesn't do these things, but it's all good. I'm kind of like the pro, obviously. But ultimately, he made a great post, or he reposted another person's commentary about tips from a former fiance. So there's a lovely young lady named Leah Marie Collins, and you can find her also at leahmariecollins.com, where she's basically a millennial money coach. And her post is about tips from a former fiance. So we're not going to shade her. So it's not about, her per se. It's about the post itself, dissecting some of the pieces to it, understanding where the notions are coming from, and our take as married people. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. So if you want to go find it, you can definitely find it either on dmarcusgarrett.com or Leah, the Leah Marie Collins.
On Instagram.
On Instagram. Nice. You know what? And y'all gotta be mad at finding me the name of a finance guy. Like, this is the entire name. Straight up. So ultimately, okay, she has the post. She's sitting down. She's looking directly at you. She's like, yeah. She's letting you know that she was a former fiance. She got 1,000 likes. People like it. Everybody enjoys it. And we're going to go right through. So the tips that she provided, you want to read the first ones?
Yeah, the first one, get wedding cancellation insurance with an exclamation point. Second one, go to premarital counseling before you get engaged. Before is in all caps, like before, all caps. The third one is have money discussions early within the first few dates. Next is discuss financial goals. Then we have understand cultural expectations. My ex-fiance is Nigerian American and I am Black American. There are huge differences between the cultures. And the last one on this slide is be fully transparent about your money situation.
Yeah, boop, she drops it in there. And I think it resonated with a lot of the audience themselves because I guess some people have been going through these issues.
Yeah.
Getting to know people. But But honestly, I found a lot of flaws here
Mm-hmm.
in how it's conceptualized. It's not the fact that you've learned this. At some point, obviously, we all could grow, make mistakes, so on and so forth. But some part of this doesn't make sense as far as timing.
Mm-hmm.
Get wedding cancellation insurance. One, you probably want to make sure that whoever you're getting with anyways, you're going to go all the way through.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah. But for that also, because even when you're planning the wedding, when we were planning our wedding, that's like during COVID times, it was like, okay, you definitely have to have wedding cancellation insurance. So it just depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. If you're looking at the perspective of, okay, I may be a runaway bride or runaway groom. Okay, one, you shouldn't be getting married. And two, get the insurance.
Yeah, if you think your person's about to run away, like I just don't. Yeah, it's one thing if it's like a holiday or it's a season in which there's a hurricane or something like that.
For sure.
I can see a wedding cancellation thing. But if you're out there, like if you're out here having real doubts, the cancellation insurance is not where you want to figure it out.
Yeah, no.
Like you need to figure this out way before you start doing the planning process. Are you in? What type of venue you're gonna have? How big your wedding is gonna be? All those little details make sense. And I wouldn't even go as far as getting insurance for that. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, you can cut costs and not get insurance, knowing that you're going to be marrying the right person and you won't need it.
Yeah, and just do it in the back. Yeah, just do it in your backyard. Like this, then you don't have to cancel anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's messed up, but it's true. Okay, so the second one is go to premarital counseling before you get engaged, and that's kind of that's true. That's weird.
That's random. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest. Like, it doesn't make much sense because how do you know you're going to marry this person? And that's the whole point of premarital counseling, right? To get you ready for marriage.
Yeah, I guess I see why she want to put it there. I see why somebody would want to kind of put that there. But man, you need to be having a whole lot more conversation with your significant other.
I feel like that's
way before. I'm like, this is not a premarital. You don't have to bring in, you know, I guess a preacher.
A pastor?
A pastor, yeah, a preacher, a pastor, a counselor. To that point, if you're like, it's way too early. It's weird. I personally don't. I'm like,
It sounds like this couple, like if this person is in this situation and they feel like, okay, I definitely get premarital counseling before I get married, then they have a trouble having deep discussions within their relationship, and they need an outside party to help them have those deep, tough discussions that you normally see couples having during premarital counseling. And that's maybe what she's getting at here. It's like, okay, you need to have those hard-hitting discussions before you get engaged. So you know what? Why not just do premarital counseling? Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I want to do it, but
like, yeah, I think that's a lot of issues. I watch one too many rom-coms, so I don't really do all this extra stuff. So I see all the problems in like ahead of time. You have to have conversations and really kind of learn the person before you get to a point where you even want to get engaged.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little details. So ultimately, the next one is have money discussions early within the first few dates. I'm like, that's weird. Having money conversations is kind of weird to me because on the first couple of dates, you're just trying to get to know the person. You're trying to understand who they are. Are they kind? Or do they have a good character? Do they have good morals? I'm not doing like impromptu, like, yo, so what's your debt ratio? What's how much credit card debt you got? Whatever. Like, it's kind of very odd. And if you could naturally get there, I think that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I think people perceive me being the financial person that I'm going to ask that question. I never asked you that question. Like, no. I would never do that. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't open itself up to any level of character progression. And it makes me seem weird.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how much money you got?
Start badgering.
Yeah. It's like, how much debt you got? Are you taking care of your debt? Are you investing? Nah, man, you got a problem. Chill back. Maybe for the ladies, that might be important to find out if the guy is making some level of good financial sense.
Yeah, it's just about stability because, you know, a woman, we want to feel secure in the partner that we're going to select, that he can, you know, support the family that we're hoping to have. Right. So yeah, I can understand why a woman want to have those questions answered and get some clarity and security in the response from her partner. But also, I think some women may be asking these questions. They're coming from a hurt place because they've been in relationships in the past where they've been with a partner who's just been like all over or just not secure with their finances. And they just have to protect themselves and to this degree to ask questions early because maybe they learned in the past. Maybe I asked too late and I got, screwed over by it. But I agree with Lawrence. You kind of let the conversation naturally flow. Don't force it. because otherwise it's gonna feel like an interview. Like, what am I applying for here? Like, you need my social security number next? Like, what's going on? Like,
I think you could always find out though from this natural conversation and just seeing their social media or even like the dates that you guys go on. So if you go on lavish dates all the time, somebody in the couple should be asking the question, how can we sustain this lavish lifestyle and how much money is everybody bringing in? So if every time you go out with her and she's dressed to the nines and she has all the newest bags and stuff like that, you kind of know that, hey, she's an expensive girl. So guys, you should definitely know if you got an expensive girl or not. Some girls, hey, they're a little bit less high maintenance. Some girls are very high maintenance. Don't be mad at who she is later on when she's spending a lot of your money, because you should already know who you started dating with. So ultimately, you want to vet and do that process very early on, just by having conversations and by seeing who they are, especially on IG. Yeah. If you see that she's always on, I'm not speaking from a guy's perspective. If you see that she's always on a trip or something like that, you just know I don't know where she's getting this money from. Yeah. Or if he's always kind of out and about, he's at every party, every in seat in issue. Well, I didn't want to say it, but he's at every brunch. I said it.
Oh gosh! All right.
I moved on. All right. I moved on. I was trying to find another word.
Here, she was like, Lawrence, brunch again? Always ain't no brunch.
I was trying, but there's only one word there. I was like, in event. You're looking at me weird. I'm like, nah, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be later that one. So the next one is discuss financial goals. It's not necessarily bad. It's just kind of weird. There's it kind of goes along with the first or the previous one.
But I don't think it's too bad. So, people make financial goals for the new year. So
if you throw it around, you can throw it in there. Around New Year.
Yeah, it's depends on how intensely you're trying to do these financial.
Yeah, you can make it fun. So what's your financial goals?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, and maybe that's kind of like be all right. Yeah, it's not bad. So, or you could even throw in like, hey, I've been listening to the financial griot. So you could use us as an excuse to say, hey, these guys have been talking about money and relations. What are your thoughts? And you kind of use us as a segue. You can always use your friends.
I highly recommend that tip right there.
Yeah, that's a smart little, great strategy, even for myself. So the next one is, I guess she did not understand the cultural expectations because she was dating a Nigerian American and she's Black American. And I'm like, girl, you did. By the time you got engaged, you didn't know that you're doing this.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I can't. I have no words for this comment, this tip here. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to empathize though, because I think I've, at least on Clubhouse, the violence of Clubhouse, the toxicity of Clubhouse. I think there's a lot of Nigerian guys that tend to be very traditional, and they expect just a certain type of woman in their preference or in their lifestyle. So there's basically they work, the woman doesn't work, she's at home. So in some instances, you might be in that situation, even Caribbean Americans or anything like that. There's a lot of different people that just adhere to very traditional standards. And if you don't know that from the get-go, you might be, going down the wrong path. And that's just a communication from Jump Street.
Yeah. And I feel like you have to be observant in your relationship, because if you're dating someone of a different culture background, they're going to give you some hints, some clues, some insight in how they move and how they interact with their family as to what the culture is like, even though they may not state it outright, because maybe they don't know how to state that, hey, I want my woman to stay at home and cook. Wouldn't be me. But at least you can pick up some of those hints and cues to understand what this culture is about. Because if you're marrying someone, you're marrying into their culture, just like they're marrying into yours. And even if you're not living in the dominant culture, like, you're in America, dating a Nigerian American, you're not living in Nigeria, but some of those cultural norms and, tendencies and stuff like that, that's going to come into your household. And you have to be familiar with what that is and understand what that is. And I would think you would want to know what that is and not just assume that they're just going to throw away everything that made them who they are to, fit the mold of the perfect partner.
Like me eating cereal.
I let you eat cereal. You literally had cereal for dinner. Oh my goodness. What are you doing here? Right. And we come from the same culture. So let's not.
Violence. I gave you your cereal earlier. I'm just making a joke. Making a joke.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So A perfect a segue to that is that, hey, there's Thanksgiving. Make sure you attend the other person's Thanksgiving to kind of get to know their family, how they interact. So you can see how they kind of position themselves in a family structure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a very easy thing for you to see. You can see if they, how they pray, they not pray, how are they very modern, are they very traditional? You can find that out very easy.
Or maybe they don't even celebrate Thanksgiving because now.
But you find out, and you find out, like you literally find out all this stuff. So the way this reads is like she found out about her fiance after they got engaged, not like way before. This is while you're in the wooing phase, and maybe the guy was a strapping guy, and every time he said something, he's like, "Ooh, oh, you want me to be at home? Ooh, yeah, I could do that." Like, nah, you might want to slow it down in your head, really interpret what did he say, and
love is blind,
and believe what he said.
Love is blind. That's all I can say.
And this next one is be fully transparent about your money situation. So I don't. You see, there's part of the story that we don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe she had debt and she panicked, or maybe he had debt and he, and she was probably pursuing her situation and her for personal finances. And then she didn't like what she saw within him. So we don't know some of those details. And I guess that's probably why she said about being fully transparent. But it goes all the way back to every time y'all went on dates. Did you not pay attention to how he was dressed? Did you not pay attention to how much money he was spending all over the place? These are the telltale signs.
Yeah.
Simple strategies out here in these streets.
Yep. Communication and honesty.
Yeah.
It's very
and paying attention.
Those are all critical when you're dating someone. Dating is not easy. So
yeah, pay attention. My God.
If you could do some of these little things to make it a little bit easiger.
Like, how do people are dating? It's like, so you just go on a date with the person, you don't really pay attention to nothing. You're like, this was a magical night.
They got a nice car, they dressed right, they paid for the dinner. It was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, the music was thumping. I went home, I was drunk the entire time.
What?
I don't know. Like
I don't know if that's a good date.
Yeah. Hey, it's like, well, not the entire time, but you kind of been drinking, and then every time you go out, you've been drinking.
You gotta kind of control yourself because you still want to make sure you're in the right state of mind.
Yeah,
but people do weird things.
I guess because we've been married for a bit, that's why I perceive single people doing.
I hope they do not, because they put themselves at risk, especially the women.
It's sad when I think about single people nowadays. It's like, you guys are just drunkards having a great time, enjoying your lives.
I'm sure they're having a great time, but
out here
I believe they have self-control.
Like catching a cold, wearing barely nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Wear a shawl or something. be warm.
But you gotta look good.
Yeah, it gotta look good. Okay, this one we're gonna blow through a lot of these a little bit quicker. So if you all do not trust each other with money, consider walking away. Man.
Yeah. This is on slide 2 of the tips, by the way.
Yeah, this is some dark stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Like, yo, if you don't trust each other, if I give you $10,
at what point do you realize you don't trust the other person?
Wait, did I give her $20 and she like is that the situation?
I don't know. Where do you draw the line? I don't understand.
Yeah, what's the trust? Like if I give you $100 to go pay the bills and you disappeared, like what's this fear?
And is it just with money? How about if you don't trust them with
Period.
babysitting your dog? Is that a
deal breaker?
A deal breaker for you
confused.
as well? I don't know.
People was like, man, this is fire tips. These are gems.
Yeah.
Discuss who will pay for which bills. Yeah, this is the reason why we actually wanted to do the podcast. At that point, we're like, nah, man. Nah, son. Like, y'all doing it differently. Yeah. Y'all doing it New Jersey style.
No. What you hating on Jersey? I don't understand.
Whoa, why you jumped up? Why you jumped up? Like,
you know I'm born in Jersey. I don't know why you bringing up in this. Like Jersey's innocent.
You haven't been in Jersey.
What? That doesn't mean anything.
That's some Jersey behavior right here.
How do you know? You don't know anybody from Jersey other than me. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All righty. But either way, going back to this bullet point, discuss who will pay for which bills. It's kind of a no for me because I guess it depends on the household. If you want to have the household with your partner, significant other, that you're going to split the bills, then okay. I guess you're going to have to discuss who's going to pay for which bills. But if you're not looking to have a household where the bills are split with different accounts, then I don't understand why you need to have this discussion. Yeah, what's the point of it?
I'm shaking my head like a Haitian.
How does this benefit you in your relationship? Paying for which bills?
I'm shaking my head like a Haitian. Just not with this. This is terrifying.
I don't.
Like, what are you doing? Are you living together? Are you not living together? Are we splitting the bill at the restaurant?
Maybe we need more information. I feel like this bullet point
No,
needs
no,
more
which
information.
bills? No, that's actually very detailed. So they had to have been living with each other.
Yeah.
And then some people do kind of do that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna live with you, but I'm gonna pay for all the rent.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna pay for the electricity. It's still kind of wacky.
But if you're living together and you're dating, I understand that perspective. But if you're living together and you're married, that confuses me completely. Man. But dating is different.
Oh, I think if you're dating someone, us talking to our kids about this stuff? Looking at them like, what you doing? Well, you what? You living with somebody? We're gonna end up like our parents.
Yeah, I know. I already see it. I'm gonna be like pretty like my dad and my mom. It's gonna be.
I'll be laughing the entire time.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. This is a lot of it's problematic all the way through. Will you have separate accounts, general accounts, or hybrid both? I think that was for us. This is very simple. That's a very simple thing. I think it's the hardest thing, which is to have the joint account because both sides have to kind of give something.
Yeah.
Like you had to put your money in, but I had to almost completely open myself up as well. So it's like it's two
like,
things.
Yeah, you're like
it was kind of freaky. Like you're jumping down, you're literally jumping down like a plane, and you're just taking the big risk of gotta trust this person now.
Yeah,
because your person might be crazy.
Your partner has complete visibility of everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, that random trip to CVS to get some more cookies or, get whatever, that random trip to Starbucks or wherever you're going for your snacks and cravings. They see it all.
Yep. Yeah. We'll probably have an entire episode about the way that we join and merge accounts.
I think we did a good job, though.
Yeah, we did a good job. But I think that's the thing that a lot of people are struggling with now, especially in modern relationships.
Yeah.
And I personally believe that you'd be better off having a joint account. And if there's a person that's more of a micro spender or maybe there's like one of my buddies, he loves to do businesses stuff. And I recommend it to his wife, like, hey, just allow him maybe $5,000 so he could actually, play around with throughout the year. Because sometimes he just wants, your partner might have this itch that they want to scratch, and you don't want to kind of preclude them from being able to kind of like invest in something, go into a hobby or something like that. So you want to create that space for them to be very much happy, fulfilled, versus then kind of hiding in the corner doing financial infidelity.
Yeah.
As they say. So yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good question to ask.
That's not bad. We're gonna let this one pass. Family plans. How many kids do you guys want? How you care for them? How will you care for elderly parents? How will elderly parents be cared for? Man, this is getting real deep, and I think that's actually premarital counseling.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't think about this stuff. They don't think about, hey, my mom is retired now, and your mom is retired, and your dad is thinking about retirement. And how their finances affect us, and how can we help them, or how can the entire family work well together? So these are good questions, and I think you should be, one, already on the same page by the time you get engaged. You should already know the person's character, period. Yep. You need to know where they stand, and you need to be clear on the level of kindness in their heart. There's some people that are like, hey, I love you, I don't love your parents. like I love you, but I hate them. And if that's not gonna gel well for you, and that's kind of like, you need to see the exit. And you shouldn't be just saying yes because the person, takes the knee.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of messed up though. Say no.
To say no?
Oh yeah.
You can always it's the truth. It's life. It's life. Cold. It's either you say no right then and there, or you can wait a little bit, wait a week after the engagement. Hopefully they don't change their Facebook status.
Oh no, everybody already posted all the photos.
Well, some people forget, they have very short term.
Oh yeah, you do it. Yeah, you do it in a year and you cut it off. Maybe
don't go a year out. That string the poor person along. My goodness, it's heartless. I would say a week max, and then just cut it off.
Yeah, you need to, like, in the first couple months, you need to already know, is this a person you can see yourself with long term? So as a guy, if I guess if I had to give advice to women, I'd say if you already know, you need to cut it off as soon as possible if you ain't feeling them like that. And the same thing goes for guys, in my opinion. Like, if you ain't feeling her, don't string her along. Cut it off ASAP before people start having ideas.
Yeah, you would think people would do that, but some people aren't in relationships for the same reasons, and that's a big problem too.
Damn, what they even relationships for?
Just for fun, just for kicks.
Just for kicks?
Yeah,
just, for kicks.
just to hanging out with someone. They want a partner, but
so
they
you
don't
want
want
the stress just for kicks.
Some people do. They think it's fun.
Good times.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Trust me, I think it's weird. But some people, they're not looking for anything serious. You've heard those stories before.
Oh, yeah, I ain't looking for nothing serious, but I've been entertaining this relationship for 3 years.
Exactly.
3 years, bro. That's a lot of money in, bro.
It's a lot of commitment there.
It's a lot of time. All the Netflix, all the movies y'all watch together, all of that. Nah, that's way too much for me.
Exactly.
Do not be afraid or embarrassed to walk away from a situation that does not serve you. It does not mean that you are bad people. You may not be compatible.
I think that's a great thing she said there.
Yeah.
Because some people are afraid to walk away because they're afraid to be alone. The thought, the anxiety that, builds to being by yourself and having to search for another partner all over again. That's a process within itself. But sometimes you just have to be strong and courageous enough to be like, nope, I'm going to walk away. I know this isn't right for me.
Yeah. So that's a great advice right there. Let's see if she has any more. And I think that's the end of that.
Yeah.
And some of the comments, I think one of the girls says counseling therapy before, during, and after that part. Wow, that's a lot of counseling and therapy.
Yeah.
We went to the financial therapy thing.
Oh, yeah, we did. That was trash, though.
Yeah, we were trying to make some money. We were trying to make some money out here, guys. It was like $25 to sit in. And it was a lot of work for that damn $25. Was it $25?
It wasn't a lot.
I don't remember. It could have been like $20.
Yeah, and they gave us pizza. Sometimes terrible pizza, horrible pizza. Like not even I don't even know what kind of pizza it was. It was horrible.
But I would say, to be honest, I think we've always been fairly balanced. So there's not a lot of like complete misunderstandings when it comes to finances, money, or even direction. Maybe because we're from the same culture group.
Could be.
Yeah, not all Haitians are the same though, but Haitian, we tend to be a little bit more like centered as Haitian Americans are, because there's different places that kind of get weird.
Yeah, well, I haven't really
met a lot of Haitians that have been weird.
Yeah, so I can't really relate.
You're not from Cap Haitien, are you?
No, I'm not. We have our house over there.
Oh, where are you guys from?
My mom's from Port-au-Prince and my dad's from Gonaive.
Wow, we never had this conversation.
Really?
We don't know each other.
No, I told you this before. You probably don't remember.
Wait. That's trippy.
Why?
Well, turns out my family lived in Port-au-Prince. That's where I grew up per se. And I think my grandfather was from Gonaive.
Oh, really? Whoa. But my dad is from like a sub-city in Gonaive.
No, we're not related. We're not related, all right?
Oh, that's what you're trying to get at?
Oh, no,
we're not related. What's wrong with you?
Like we're not related.
That's one that didn't even cross my mind.
Nah, we're definitely not, because my grandmother is from like the DR. So
okay, I'm glad that
Yeah, very detailed.
That helped resolve something in you.
Yes, that resolved all my fears.
All right.
All my fears are done. They're clear now. And my dad is like half Brazilian, so hey. Yeah, completely out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whew. That solves things.
Random. All right.
All right. Other people said amazing list. Speaking to Marie Collins's post, excellent advice, wonderful tips. Also discussing family dynamics for couples who are already parents, once married, and will be with step parents, and so on and so forth. So
kind of brings it back to our Uber driver.
Oh yeah, our Uber drivers. Oh, you want to tell them that story real quick before we ride out?
All right. So last point here. We were taking an Uber going to Disney for our 1-year anniversary. It was 2, right? Yep, it was 2.
Yeah, it was 2.
And our Uber driver, he was like, got us in the car, making small talk. I talked about our trip to Disney, where we're going. We told him we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. He said, "Congrats. How was your first year?" And he clearly
he didn't say that.
He did. He didn't say congrats. Did I make that up?
I think he didn't say no congrats to us. Like he literally was like, "Hey, why you guys are doing this?"
Yeah, but
it's a first year anniversary.
Yeah, and he's like, "How was your first year, though?"
No, but he didn't say no congrats.
Oh man, I made that up in my head. I made that up. Well, that already set the tone on how the rest of this conversation was going to go. But we told him that it was great. It was a great first year. I don't think he listened to anything that we said in our response.
He didn't say, you know what he did? He did a very Florida thing. Like he nodded. He was like, Nah, that thing is messed up.
Yeah, and then he just like went in on his own little rant about his first year of marriage.
No, he said he's been married 5 years and it's been hard every time, even the first year. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
bro,
the first year was extremely hard for him.
So you survived all the way to 5 years of just toxicity, huh?
Yeah, apparently, like, you know, and the reason that came to mind because he was talking about, you know, having like physical altercations with his wife's kid. And his nephew, and they had to move away from wherever they were from.
He gave her an ultimatum. He said straight up, like, yo, like you better move,
or I'm gonna leave you.
Or I'm gonna leave you. This is what it is. I'm like, yo, whoa. And it's our first year. We sliding through like it's easy, and we're looking at him like, whoa, bro, do you need counseling? Do you need some therapy?
They need something.
Because if you already have problems with somebody, and I try to tell that to anybody, if you've been having problems with anyone, any relationship you have in the first month, the first year, the first whatever, you might not want to get married with them. Because I don't think a marriage is going to solve that.
No.
Like, if anything, a marriage reveals everything.
Everything. And multiplies it, magnifies any little small problems you may be experiencing.
All types of, that's a whole other podcast about all this.
Yeah.
Being married is amazing. It's wonderful. And I think what it does, it forces you to stop being just a one unit person, or like a one type of person that exists in this world.
Yeah.
You know, and to really kind of give into something else or somebody else, and therefore letting go. It's the ultimate act of love, in my opinion. The idea that you are not just yourself, you're not living for yourself, you can be living for togetherness.
Yeah.
And that's kind of dope. So even if it's just these tips that you're listening to, or tips that you might have heard online somewhere else, just remember that communication is key. Pay attention to the people that you're getting to any relationship with. I don't care if it's a friendship, you know, people at work, so on and so forth. Just take your time and just have a good time with the life that you live in.
Yep, I agree completely. Because like Lauren says, you have to bring yourself into the relationship, but you also need to realize that you are joining together as one, and you have to be selfless a lot of times. You know, you may not feel like waking up and going to the grocery store so that your partner can have eggs for breakfast, but sometimes you just gotta plan ahead and, you know, go to the grocery store the night before so you don't have to wake up super early and do the whole grocery store.
Are we doing this
thing.
Passive aggressive thing? We doing this?
It's not passive aggressive.
I got complaints too.
You got complaints.
I got complaints. Like, how about if you waking up at nighttime and she's just looking at you? How about that? How about those things?
What do you mean? You think I just come around and I look at you in the middle of the night? I do that in the morning, but not in the middle of the night. Okay.
No, I'm just
gotta make sure you're breathing. Like, it's because I love you so much.
Ultimately, the only thing I'd say about this is that as far as your money and your finances, first take care of yourself, and that's really what this conversation is all about. Get to know who you really are. Get to know your own personal finances before you start to kind of like try to deviate that with somebody else. You know, kind of have a conversation with them, try to open up again. All of that stuff you need to really deal already with yourself in order for you to start dealing with it with somebody else. If two people coming together and they're whole and stuff, it's gonna be easier. And you know, it's like a whole pizza and you know, maybe something that you learn at marital counseling. We actually didn't go to pre-marital.
No, we didn't.
We learned nothing. We're living on the edge.
Sure are. That's okay. My parents didn't do premarital counseling either. So
it's a Haitian thing. We don't want to pay money. We're cheap.
It's not about paying money. It's just like a whole thing. It's a process.
Was it free?
I'm pretty sure it was at the church. At my church, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a whole thing. And it was COVID as well. That's another
that was
reason why we didn't really, do it, because COVID kind of made things a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So we have our reasons.
Yeah, finances. In the end of the day, I'll say this: the fact that we've been together and we've grown our net worth a significant amount, I don't think we'd be able to do that on our own.
Yeah.
And I think people do not give that enough credence, that in this world, as things are becoming more and more expensive, like a household itself should not just be a one unit household bringing just one income. I think it's probably better off that you're bringing at least 2.5. I'm not quite sure where you get to the 0.5.
Well, I was questioning too. You got the baby working?
Everybody got to work, even the baby. The dog got to work. Everybody got to put it. Hey, you take some photos of the dog, get some Instagram.
I mean, it's possible nowadays. They be making some money.
So ultimately, everybody needs to be pulling in as much as possible for the family and for the household to grow, love, prosper, and all that good stuff. So with that being said, do you want to carry us out? Can you do this? Can you close it out?
I'll make the attempt.
Right.
Thank you all.
No pressure.
My goodness, let me do my thing.
All right.
So thank you all for listening to this episode of the Financial Griot. This was Lawrence Delva Gonzalez and his wife, Doreen Delva Gonzalez. And we appreciate your listening to this episode and all the other ones we have lined up, because we know you're listening each time an episode drops. You're loyal, you're faithful. We thank you. Big thanks. So be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Financial Griot. Follow Lawrence at the Neighborhood Finance Guy. Follow Atlanta at its_Atlanta. Follow Lovely at Lovely Mordelis. And be sure to leave a review. We love the reviews, the feedback, the discussions that you have with us on Instagram and in our comments and on the reviews on Apple Podcasts. So yeah, talk to us. We're here. Well, not us, not me, because, I'm here now. I'm not going to be on the next one, but, talk to them. They want to hear from you. So thanks. And talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Financial Griot podcast, powered by the Wealth Builders Collective.